You're the guy in the Marvel movie who says that you hate Monopoly, and then you go, he's right behind me, isn't he? Because Monopoly is right behind you.
Right.
What have you read or who have you watched to create this effect in your brain that has led you to this? You're like covered in a 6-meter thick layer of coagulated grime. Nothing that you're saying, you're not even conceptually in the ballpark of reality. Yo, what's up?
Hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey, how are you, Vaush?
I am doing Oakley Dokley. How about yourself?
I am going to come out and say it is that I'm like really excited and nervous because like it's just like crazy to be on here. I wanted to say that just right off the bat, I have some disagreements with you on like anarchism, specifically like market socialism and free market systems, and like how you advocate for like universal health care. Like
Yeah, absolutely. What is your political ideology again?
Oh boy. We're just gonna keep it at market anarchist. I mostly identify with like free market systems. Like abolition of
Ancap?
No. I don't think that anarcho-capitalism is like, I think it's self-contradictory because the Lockean conception of property rights says that like transformative, it's theory stuff. Transformative labor is required to create property, and then if you go through the whole process of how capitalism leads to a contradiction in the entire principle of property itself, which is what we're
doing. All right, no ANCAP could ever give an answer that protracted. Okay, gotcha. You've proved you're not one. What specific things would you like me to answer for?
I would just like how, if you're like a libertarian socialist or like a libertarian in general, why do you often argue for like statism, like universal health care, where it doesn't really solve the problem? It doesn't really like eliminate monopoly that is the root of the problem of like why prices are so high for health insurance. All it really does is spread out the cost. All it really does is take like stops worker. Okay, go ahead.
I don't like advocating stateless societies as a solution to any problems we face, because all of us will be dead before a stateless society is viable and stable. That is a very long-term goal. Democracy was conceptualized millennia before we actually got something approximating one. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Improvements can still be made. That's life. I do think that stuff can be made in the direction of workers' ownership and decommodification, however. In the case of healthcare, the problem is that healthcare is an inelastic good. A person will pay any amount of money to not die, meaning that the normal forces of market regulation are not very effective at determining a good cost for healthcare, so I'm okay with its decommodification. And decommodification in the context of a stated society usually correlates to state ownership, which I'm very much in favor of.
So, okay, wait. So you're saying that you would prefer a system where the government, right, takes money from people's work, like the value of their labor, right, uses it to fund, which is exploitation, and then uses it.
I don't think taxes are exploitation.
How so? It's extraction from one's labor value.
Because taxes are how we have society, and I like society.
Okay, well, define exploitation.
Exploitation has a definitively negative context. There are implicit bits of exploitation in all forms of extraction and transaction. When I'm talking about like taxes aren't exploitation, I mean you're not getting a raw deal. Taxes are good. I would argue that taxes are theft. I don't really care if they're I don't care. They're a good thing. I'm glad they happen. The absence of taxes means the absence of society. And the absence of society means like ooga booga, warlord, rape everyone. So I'm okay with the taxes being around. Even like a non-stated anarchist government would have to do something along the lines of collecting a tax or tax equivalent. I don't think you can get around that.
So why do you think that people can't organize society in such a way to where, you know, anyways, back to the healthcare example. Vaush, I understand how barriers of entry cause monopolization. and almost every barrier of entry that causes monopolization can be attributed to government regulation.
Okay, you are an Ancap, just so you know. These are Ancap arguments. Everything that you've said is an
This is
Ancap
something.
argument.
This is something I share in common with anarcho-capitalists, but I am not an ANCAP because I do not believe free market systems will lead to a capitalist society. As I said earlier,
So you're just a
don't
socialist
think,
ANCAP. You just think that you can do ANCAP, but it's actually socialism.
it wouldn't be capitalist because the workers would own the means of production, and
Okay,
it would be a classless society.
so you're just a delusional ANCAP then. You're actually worse than
So,
them.
so,
With all respect, like
so
your
let's
ideological
go. Hold on,
your
Vosh.
ideological prescriptions.
Vosh.
Wait, hold on. What you're
I would
advocating
like to
for,
go back. I
what
would
you're
like to go
wait,
back
please,
to what I
please.
was talking
What you're
about.
advocating for is like it's like the insult people they do to me when they're like, oh, Vaush is a market socialist, so he wants a like ANCAP society except worker owned. Like, but you're doing that unironically, like you're doing the straw man.
Unironically, yes. They're going to decide, right? They're going to make a decision on how much of those is going to be allocated towards the wages of the healthcare workers. Well, I'm going to argue with you that
It is true that
hold on.
business
Hold
owners
on.
set the wages for the people in that
Yes,
business.
and the government, being the business owner, is setting the wages for the healthcare workers, which means that the wages of those healthcare workers is not going to be equivalent to the product of their labor, right? So
What?
I argue, right, that labor's natural, like the value of labor is its natural wage, right? And this is not going to be able to
What the
give.
fuck is a natural wage?
A natural wage is labor's product, right? The product,
No.
whatever the value of the product, whatever the value of the product that labor creates is the value of the labor.
You can't.
Marx,
No, I don't want to.
this is
No,
related to
no,
Marx's
no,
use.
no. I don't want to get into this. We're not doing this. How do you arbitrarily calculate the value of providing healthcare? I don't want to get into this.
So no. Hold on. So what I'm saying is that this is going to lead to the labor exploitation of the workers in the
Yeah, it's a
healthcare
market
system,
economy.
because no, this is your system of decommodified healthcare.
Yes, it's still exploitative.
Which is a problem.
Yeah,
right?
it's still a stated society with currency. The
Okay,
market
and
economy has a currency. Yes, it's still exploitative.
And I'm arguing for a system that doesn't have exploitation.
No,
where the
you're not.
natural
You're
way,
literally arguing
the
for
nat-
anarcho-capitalism.
Right.
What have you read or who have you watched to create this effect in your brain that has led you to this?
So I've read.
I know it's not
Benjamin.
Demon Mama, because you mentioned Demon Mama, and Demon Mama would not agree with any of this shit, so I have no idea.
No. That's a separate topic about how you were talking about how there can't be any private regulation. How
I can't wait to hear your opinions on like producing bathtub insulin and getting it vetted by like the local workers board of drug addicts.
No, I support supply chains, Bosch. So I think Demon Mama was off her rocker when she was saying that supply chains wouldn't exist in anarchism because.
I would rather that version of anarchism than this one. This is just anarcho-capitalism.
It would not lead to capitalism.
Hey, quick question. How do you ensure that all these companies remain worker-owned if there's no state mandating it?
Well, because you're going to hate this one. The maximization within a labor market causes the cost of labor to rise to the price of its product, which gives workers' cooperatives a massive advantage within labor markets over exploitative firms, which allows them to always outcompete capitalistic firms.
What if capitalistic firms work together to stifle non-capitalistic businesses?
I said labor market, correct? I said labor market. So a labor market is about where the workers decide they want to work. Ain't no worker going to want to work for a place that isn't going to be able to provide labor's full product when there's a place down the street that can.
Yeah, it will if all the worker cooperatives are completely out of business because they get muscled out of local industry by capitalists who know it's in their best material interest to prevent worker cooperatives from spreading. If this was the case, then why have capitalists?
How are they gonna do that? Vaush,
they can do anything they want. There's no state.
So can cooperatives, right?
No, there needs to be a state.
Why, boss? So why did
Okay,
okay
why?
when you were
Okay, I
talking?
form a
You were
company. I do really
so
well,
you
and
were
there are
just so
4,000
hold on,
employees. I give them
boss.
all guns. We run
In
this
your
town
last
now.
Vosh, in your last debate, you told that guy that you were an anarchist, and in your debate with me, you're saying there needs to be a state. Vosh, you're
Just
not an
wait, hold on.
anarchist.
Just because retarded and anarchist share a couple of vowels doesn't mean they mean the same thing. All right. The statelessness comes after the abolition of capital. You want to keep the capital. Okay? That's the problem. Statelessness is fine. You just want you just have this delusional belief that you can preserve the monopoly of violence through a bunch of sparsely distributed, decentralized corporations. What's to stop a larger corporation from just buying up a bunch of guns and becoming warlords in their town? It would certainly save them a lot on production prices to own slaves, wouldn't it? They wouldn't have to pay wages. Who's going to stop them?
Uh, People aren't gonna like that.
Oh, they won't. Well, that's a
If you
great
just
argument,
go around,
except bullet.
yeah, you know who else has bullets? Other people. The
Not as
decentralization
many.
of violence. How do you know that?
Because the
Like how?
corporation spent time training and arming 40,000 people in a city. It's a
So
private
did other
army.
people.
Wait,
Well, it's not
so a
like
bunch of
a private.
corporations have private armies that they're all just like gunning for?
I don't think that that would happen, Blush. I don't
Wait,
think
it
that.
has happened. What we're talking about right now, as in
But
lawless
these
territories
systems were
being taken
never.
over by warlords?
Those systems were never like stateless, right? They've always had like
No, the
monopolization
corporation
through
becomes
like
the
certain
state.
laws.
That's true. You are a statist. You just don't call it a state. You just want statism through the power of monopolistic corporations, and you're delusional
I
about the fact that they're
no,
not going to be
I don't
monopolistic.
want monopolies to exist, Vosh. I
It doesn't
don't
matter
want.
whether you want them to. You don't know that they're going to happen anyway. So wait, again, why can't they just like be a warlord? Why can't like you just have one big company in a town be like, okay, we're going to make a private army, and then they just do that?
Vosh, there's not going to be one big company in the first place. If you have an anarchist society already established, like if we've already implemented slowly through gradualism towards anarchism and had an anarchist society, there's not going to be a
There
monopoly
will
that can
always
just
be a
do that.
monopoly. Everything you're advocating for maximizes monopoly. Like you're screaming like I'm running from monopoly as you're sprinting towards it head first. You're the
Vosh,
guy in the Marvel movie who says that you hate monopoly, and then you go, he's right behind me, isn't he? Because monopoly is right behind you. Like you are monopoly.
Vosh, I don't think free market systems create monopoly. I think that
I know you don't because you
monopoly
don't know
all comes
history.
from.
I know
I
you think it
don't
comes
think.
from state
I think
intervention. I know, I know, I know.
almost all of history actually shows that state intervention creates.
Explain to me right now, because I'm getting bored, because this is all fancy, fantastical bullshit. None of this means anything. We might as well be like literally arguing Lord of the Rings lore. But like, tell me, okay? You've got a corporation, worker controlled, of a couple hundred people, all right? And they're doing
Okay, wait.
work in
Can
the
you
wait, wait,
please
wait,
say
wait. They're
again what you
doing work in
want
their
me to
they're
explain
doing work.
because
They're
you cut out?
doing work in their city.
Just repeat it.
Okay, so here. They're doing work in a city. This
Hello?
worker. I know you can hear me. I know this is fake.
Hello?
This is you're only making that
Oh
noise.
my god.
I know he can hear me.
No, I can now.
Oh, now
Say
you
it
can.
again.
Okay,
No, literally just say it again because I will respond to it.
you are the you are on the board of a worker cooperative with a few hundred employees. Work's not doing great. Your business is not doing phenomenally. You take what remains of your money, you sell your industry, you buy weapons, and you move to a small town in Nebraska, population 10,000. A town of 10,000 can be easily conquered by a few hundred people with automatic weapons and armored vehicles. And you do so. There are other businesses there, but they don't have a bunch of guns and armored vehicles. And then you put the population to work as slaves, because it's actually a lot easier to maintain a business when you don't have to pay wages. You now have two kinds of people in your business, slaves and employees. The employees collectively own the profits generated from the labor of the slaves. You are now able to accrue enough wealth through the production that you sell to other towns that you are able to start buying more guns. You hire more people, and eventually your enterprise expands to neighboring towns, eventually cities, and then you have a state, an institution with a monopoly on violence, a border, a sense of common ownership or identity, even if it's just what guy is going to shoot us if we do a bad job. What stops this from happening?
So I remember previously when you were talking with another person about how, right, how like trade relationships, like for example, how you often talk about how trade relationships between China and the United States prevent us from going to war, but because it would be absolutely disadvantageous for the collective collective provide things. It would be not advantageous for and I don't think
Really?
that
It
the
wouldn't be
town.
economically beneficial to conquer territory? That's the historically informed position you're gonna
I mean,
take?
is it economically beneficial for the United States to just go and start a war with,
All right. Let me be
let's
clear.
say,
Let me be clear.
Iraq right now and conquer Iraq?
Let me
We
be
could do
clear.
it. Would it
Let me
would
be
it
clear.
be would it be
Let me be clear.
economically
Let me be clear.
advantageous?
Please. Let me be clear. Okay? The fact that you would compare marauding warlords with intrastate invasions indicates you know nothing about either. You have nothing more than a superficial aesthetic understanding of these ideas if you think there is even a single line to be drawn between them. There are so many things I could say, it could fill a book. There are differences in the level of investment, the level of potential attainment, the startup and operational costs, the fact that the United States has broad trade relations and concerns it has to care about, along with PR, whereas your little marauding warlord band might be willing to not deal with that in exchange for the additional profits generated by slave labor. Who would stop you? You didn't even tell me what would stop them. You just said they wouldn't do it. Well, what if they did? What if they did do it? Who would stop them?
It's unlikely that there isn't like REAs or defensive forces within that
Whose?
community.
Wait, oh, in the town of 10,000,
Nebraska.
they just have like RPGs, like, and like, oh, the marauding.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't they?
What a great world to live in. Oh, a daughter of mine, can you grab the RPG we have under the couch? Another local business has decided to make this town their bitch. The new startup warlord needs to be like strung through the street and like hanged from a local
That
gallows.
that's why it wouldn't be advantageous to do it.
It would be because they wouldn't win. Historically, very small populations of well-trained militias with a little bit of equipment are able to overtake populations 10, hundreds, thousands of times larger because that's how it works. Well-organized
So
military groups with radio communication, automatic weapons, and bulletproof vehicles are capable of defending themselves against essentially an infinite number of unprepared civilians who have like Taliban-era equipment stashed up.
the media is completely controlled by
By
separate
market
separate
forces.
by separate cooperative
People
media.
buy Coca-Cola even though they fund death squads.
Furthermore, consumers will. I work in R&D. They do this. Consumers will create private auditing.
Oh my
Private
fucking
like
god.
they will. They will
I
create
know, I know,
private.
I know. All right.
They do.
I
They
think we're
literally
good.
do.
No,
Hold on.
I think we're good. I think we're good. This is the degree of magical thinking here stumps any religious person I've
But
ever.
this literally exists now.
Nothing that I don't even. There's not even like an angle of correction here. It's more like I don't even. Fuck, man. Like if you see someone who's like a little bit mussed up or something, like they got some dirt on their knee or something, like you notice it, and then it's like, oh, they could clean that. You're like covered in a 6 meter thick layer of coagulated grime. No cleaning, cleaning can't work. You have to start over from the beginning. I'm sorry, you have to re-roll, dude. This is too much. This is way the fuck too much.
So you don't want to talk about how private auditing works?
No, nothing. We're not talking about reality. Nothing that you're
No.
saying. You're not even
So
conceptually in the ballpark of
they
reality. I'm
wouldn't
not even
even.
asking for
They wouldn't
studies.
even.
Do you want to say something affectionate to the audience so we can end on a good note? But this is like, there's no point in talking about this. None of this is related to reality in any way. It's all pure broken ideology. So I can't,
Do you want to end on a good note?
I love you.
That's literally what I was gonna say, and I'm not gonna stop watching your streams.
At least the future anarcho-capitalist warlords who take over cities and rape women to use as slaves, at least they can't take our love away. Godspeed.
All right, I love you.
Love you too. Bye. Wow. Okay. Whew. Oh boy. Ideology. Whew. Fuck, I have a headache now. Holy shit. That was so much more insufferable than I thought. It's just like, this is one of the reasons why I don't really like talking about post-state solutions. It's because a lot of people have frankly delusional ideas on what getting rid of the state would do to society. And like, some I agree with and some I don't. I don't know how valuable it is to speculate, but there are some ideas that I think are worse than others, and just, yeah.